Hi, good morning, Exchange kids. Mr. Shaun here. I hope you've been well and that you've been enjoying the superhero series as much as I have. Wow, there's so many great superheroes in the Bible, but I have a couple, I'm sure you're curious. Shaun, what's your favorite superhero? I mean, there's Captain America, there's the Incredible Hulk, there's so many to choose from, but if I had to pick one or two top of my favorites, it would be Iron Man and Doctor Strange. If you think about it, these two characters, they had a lot of talent before they became superheroes, and you wouldn't necessarily think of them as nice guys because they just weren't. They were really focused on whatever was happening in their life, and they were living about the life however they wanted to. Now, but when some significant events happened in their lives, it really took place in a positive impact to make great changes out in the world. And in the Bible, there is a superhero just like that too. His name was the Apostle Paul. Now, before he became the Apostle Paul, just like any kind of superhero movie, there is always an origin story. And talking about that, the Apostle Paul used to go by the name of Saul. He was very smart ever since he was very young. Did you know that young boys are trained up in the Jewish tradition to memorize the first 5 books of the Bible? That's a lot of books to remember, right? And when he became an adult, he actually memorized the entire Old Testament. Now, to show you in reference where that is, this is the Bible. This portion here is the Old Testament, made up of 929 chapters, and guess what? No pictures in between, all words. And he could recite it frontwards and backwards, and he was very smart. Very cool, right? He was a Pharisee who really focused on tradition and just the old ways of life in the Old Testament. And he was really thought that Jesus and his followers were dangerous to this tradition. So he started making a name for himself, going out there, arresting and sometimes even killing Christians out in the process. Now, he was getting really famous in this, and one day he decided with a group of people that he would start marching down into Damascus to get help from the authorities over there of, hey, I want to grab all the Christians out here, put them in chains, and take them back to Jerusalem. Now, on the way over there, a very pivotal moment happens. Suddenly, Saul gets struck by this amazing light, and everyone around them can hear, but they can't see a person. And the voice cries out, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Saul just falls on the ground and he says, "Who are you, Lord?" And then the voice responds back, "This is Jesus of Nazareth that you're persecuting." Now, to persecute means that you're being really mean or treating this person really bad. When Saul got up from the ground, he realized that he was totally blind, and his friends around him had to hold his hand and bring him into Damascus, where he sat there and didn't eat a thing, and he was sitting there blind for 3 days. A funny thing happens on the side where God tells this other Christian named Ananias to say, hey, I want you to go into Damascus. You're gonna find this guy named Saul, and I want you to pray for him because he's blinded, and I need you to have an encounter with him. Ananias hears this and he says, oh, no. Saul? Are we talking about the same Saul? The guy who kills Christians, who arrests Christians? No, I don't want anything to do with that. And God says, Saul is my chosen instrument that I'm going to use to share the gospel to the world and also to kings. So Ananias says, okay, I'm gonna walk into Damascus, find Saul, and pray for him. And when he lays hands on Saul and prays for him, voila! Saul's sight comes back, and he becomes what you would say a super Christian. Now he's out in the world, on the streets, just sharing the gospel like crazy, to the point that strangers walking by are saying like, hey, isn't that the guy who was killing and arresting Christians until like about 3-4 days ago. I'm like, well, something must have happened. If he's turning this kind of tune, then I'm in. I want to become a Christian too. And such amazing things start happening all over the place. Saul went on to change his name to the Apostle Paul. He went on numerous missions, and a lot of the books and letters that he wrote are in the New Testament today too. So, just a quick quiz for you guys. Do you guys know that there are 27 books in the New Testament, and guess how many the Apostle Paul wrote? A, 4 books. B, 7 books. C, 10 books. Or D, 13 books. And the answer is 13 books. He almost wrote half the New Testament. How crazy is that, right? Well, I just wanted to share you guys today. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share with you about this amazing transformation story about the Apostle Paul. Now, it's so important that we might be talented, there might be things that we're passionate about, but something amazing can happen when we have a true God encounter that we have on a regular basis in our prayer times, in our worship times, and in our families too. So I'm praying that you guys will also have an amazing God encounter in your life, that God is going to do amazing things in your life as well. Have a wonderful Sunday. Bye.